Narcissism is a word used to identify behavior that is consistently hurtful and harmful to other people. It is defined as being a behavioral disorder where the individual has a sense of adulation that is over the top. It is egotistical in nature that places self-importance above the needs of anyone or anything. Clinicians diagnose narcissism by using a set of questions, along with having assessment sessions with an individual to determine if the individual suffers from narcissistic personality disorder or not. It is often misdiagnosed, underdiagnosed, because the one trait of narcissism that this type of behavior avoids is honesty. Honesty is the one trait we fool ourselves into believing that we all have. While many of us strive to achieve honesty, many of us cannot get honest with ourselves, let alone with one another. Where we are honest in one area of our lives, we are dishonest in another. We are dishonest for many, many different reasons, and most likely it's to prevent someone else's feelings from getting hurt. Or we can't bear to feel the burden of feeling the hurt of our own feelings, but we usually get found out. And we sheepishly apologize, and we do our best to make amends. It is difficult to be honest, and if we can't be honest with ourselves, it is that much more difficult to be honest with others. Honesty is what separates us from them, the narcissist who absolutely refuses to be honest in any sort of way. Oh, they are capable of being honest, and they're capable of telling the truth, but they would rather not. If telling the truth hurts them or makes them look bad, forget it. The narcissist would rather project that shame onto you, as they not only try to make you take responsibility for their dishonesty, but they try to hold you accountable for it. Honesty is an essential ingredient to the human condition. It is what builds trust. It is what makes us authentic and consistent in our humanity. It is an essential ingredient within empathy. If we are not honest with ourselves, we are not empathetic to our needs, wants, and desires, and this creates an environment that allows the narcissist to victimize and monopolize on our weakness or our lack of truth. So, what is truth? It is not what you know to be right, it is what is right. In being right, correct, or truthful, there is rigidity. There is consistency as there is constancy. Truth cannot be anything other than what it is. Truth is nothing more and nothing less than what it is. It is what allows us to live without consequence, as it is what gives us freedom. Freedom to make the choices we need to make for ourselves and for others. When we are dishonest with ourselves, we are dishonest with others, as inauthenticity breeds mistrust and disrespect. An individual who slants towards narcissistic personality disorder is dishonest by nature. Every time we are gaslit, they make the situation within being gaslit seem less worse than what it is, and gaslighting is lying. It's a means to throw us off balance, to never discover the truth. Every time they project a problem onto us and accuse us of wrongdoing, every time they stonewall, deflect, dismiss, is an exercise in deliberate dishonesty. All these are in attempts from keeping us from making an informed decision. All because the narcissist knows that if they were just honest with us for once, we might make the informed decision to distrust them. A narcissist wants and demands our trust, but will not get it because they cannot be honest with us. Because they cannot be honest with themselves. They demand that we trust them, as they fake honesty in attempts to regain, remain, and gain control. The narcissist's dishonesty is about control. It's arbitrary. And they believe they cannot lie. They believe they do not lie. This is because their lying is not just habitual, it is a part of them. While we may lie to ourselves from time to time, and we may not always trust ourselves, the ability to tell the truth and seek authenticity is within us. We just have to go and find it. A narcissist cannot seek within to find the true value of trust because it's not in them. In their heart, there is no truth. They feed off of other people like a parasitic vampire, sucking the life, soul, and essence from us, for goodness sakes. How can they ever be honest? Only when that honesty serves them. Authenticity allows us to serve others. When we are honest with ourselves, we are able to then better serve the greater good. We are able to form healthy relationships that are formed around honesty that breeds trust. We may not get it right all the time, but we are learning, and when we fail, we are big enough to say and mature enough to say, I'm sorry, and make the effort to make things right. A narcissist will just dig themselves into a bigger pit by making themselves look more dishonest, by spinning that web of deceit thicker to the point of eventually they get stuck in their own trap. They get stuck in their web of lies. To be honest with yourself means that you love yourself. You are willing to take the good and the bad. You are willing to learn from your mistakes. You are willing to take a risk for the greater good. This allows you to earn respect among your peers, and this allows you to respect yourself, as the more you exercise truth, the easier it is to hold yourself to certain boundaries. I'm saying key words in this message here because narcissists don't like boundaries either. A narcissist does not love themselves, and so they do not expect you to love yourself. They expect you to be just like them. It is, after all, the reason in their minds why they chose you in the first place. If you like them, it must mean that you are like them. The narcissist cannot see that you have your own individuality and authenticity. Because we have a certain set of expectations in a relationship, we assume that the narcissist also has those same set of expectations. However, because the narcissist is not truthful where it counts, the set of standards is different, and this is what does the most damage. We assume that the narcissist's morals and their truths are like our own, as most of us are brought up and raised with those same set of moral truths. Well, so too the narcissist. However, those moral standards are something that the narcissist dismisses and sees as wrong, as its conformity, as it's a form of control, as the narcissist is a nonconformist to the truth. Because they refuse to conform, but instead use their nonconformity to their advantage, and only use conformity to when it best suits them, they will always view you as someone that should toe the line. They see you as someone just like them, and for this reason, you will never, ever, 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 ever have the narcissist's trust or respect. They are untrustworthy in their own right, and because they know that they lie to get their way, they assume, because you are just like them, that you will do this to them. And this is what makes it worse when they accuse you. They believe their accusations of you. They believe their lies about you. They know their accusation is a lie against you, but because they cannot believe the truth, the lie becomes their truth, as it's always been. The lie is believed as truth, and this is why you will never win with the narcissist, even if you have proof. Let me give you an example. We all know that the grass is green and the sky is blue. But to the narcissist knows that to be true, even if they don't see it that way, because Everybody around them says and tells them that the sky is blue and the grass is green. However, they stay silent because the narcissist's perception is different than anybody else's. Now, I'm not saying that a narcissist says or believes that the sky is green and the grass is blue, but I'm just using this as an example because this is their perspective on things. When you tell the truth, their truth is what you believe is a lie. And your truth is what they believe as a lie. So in order to understand this concept, think of the concept of the grass is green, the sky is blue. We all know this to be true because I have yet to interact with somebody who has told me that the sky is purple and the grass is blue. But to a narcissist, they may see that the grass is green sometimes, but the majority of the time, their perception is that maybe it's not so quite as green. It's a different color. It's leaning on the side of brown or leaning on the side of purple instead. But they keep this secret because they don't want to be the odd one out. And so they'll use that perception to their advantage. And once they have you hooked, they try to convince you to see and believe from their perspective. And it doesn't work because you cannot see that the grass is any other color than green. Except for in the fall and the winter, the grass turns brown. So do you see my point? So getting back to the narcissist and lying. The toxic individual is not authentic. They lie to themselves all the time. They don't know that they are lying as they believe the narrative that they tell themselves or what has already been told to them of the past from past childhood trauma. They have become one with their narrative, just as you have become one with yours. We all hold lies as truths. This is natural, and this is why it's important for self-actualization, to get to the truth, to expose ourselves to the truth by exposing ourselves to the lies we tell ourselves. But the difference is that some people, you, who are empathetic in nature, can change. A narcissist cannot self-actualize. You can look at yourself and admit your flaws. You can admit you need room for inner growth. You can look at your mistakes and not count them against yourself as a great loss, but instead, you count those mistakes as lessons learned. You have that ability. You have the wherewithal inside of you to do better, and by doing better, you become better. A narcissist cannot become better. Oh, they can try, but it doesn't hold. The narcissist, in fact, expects you to become better, not for you, but for them. So what can you do when you are gaslit from the narcissist, or you know that they are clearly lying to you or twisting their narrative? Well, God tells us to not what does he say? God says, do not resist an evil person, meaning that sometimes it's okay to let the other person be right. You don't always have to be right. Even though you know you are right, you don't have to push your narrative on somebody. A narcissist does. And what is it going to cost you to let them be right if it saves you from getting traumatized and verbally or physically punished? Just let them be right. Know your truth. You don't need to convince the narcissist of your truth. Don't hold their narrative against yourself. Do not take their lying ways as a means to hold it personal. Understand that their perspective of life, the way they view you, is theirs to maneuver. They are choosing to lie in order to navigate your relationship with them. How healthy is that? It's not healthy. And that isn't how relationships should be done. But it is their way of doing things, not your way. You do not have to live with it, but accepting this as who they are, as this is not a behavior that you can point out so that they can change, the narcissist has to see for themselves that they are lying and that their lying is wrong. They have to see that it offers them no benefit to lie. Until they do, they will use lying to their advantage because lying makes you upset. It's their way to cope in life without the free use of empathy. This is something in them they do not have. Lying for a narcissist is instinctual. It is a pattern of behavior that speaks about a lack of trust. The narcissist's lies are what truth-telling is for you. If someone is for you, they will tell the truth even if it hurts, even at a risk of losing you or getting hurt themselves. A narcissist cannot risk losing you because to lose you means they lose control. The narcissist needs you in their life as you validate their feelings. Your presence in their life gives their life meaning. They literally are happy when you are around. That's not something to be joyful about. You give them great happiness and joy. It's your presence that allows them to forget who they truly are as you make them feel good. Now, again, this isn't something that should make you feel privileged and honored. Your attention of them is what makes them happy. Your attention of them gives to them what they cannot get on their own. Remember, they lack empathy, and where there is a lack of empathy, there is a lack of love and self-love. The narcissist self-loathes and needs you to cover up that loathing with the things that you say, the laughing at their jokes and paying them attention. You help cover up those negative feelings for them. This is why the narcissist needs to control you, and one way to do this is to control your decisions by lying to you. They lie for many, many reasons, and reasons that we may never know. But one reason is to keep you from walking away. They don't want to lose you. It isn't because they love you. It is because you make them forget who they truly feel about themselves. Out of sight is out of mind. They truly do forget who they truly are. When you reveal that to them, oh, they go ballistic. When you call them out on their wrongs, you then remind them in their subconscious of who they are, and this is something that they cannot handle. This is why we often walk around on eggshells around a narcissist. We cannot communicate to the narcissist that their ways are intrusive and abusive, not to mention manipulative and disrespectful. Lying for the narcissist is dismissive and demoralizing to you. Do they think this? Well, of course not. They cannot think that deep, and if they do, they don't care. If you accuse a narcissist of lying, they will deny, 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 and deny some more, and spin the narrative back around to where all fingers point directly at and on you. Yes, it is important to call them out on their wrongdoing and their lying ways, in a way that lets them know that you will not put up with it. There has to be a consequence for their lying. And usually when they get caught lying and know what they did was seriously wrong, they just get better at hiding the wrong the next time. So, my dear, it's up to you to see the red flags of deceit and take steps to head it off at the pass before you get tangled up in that web they weave that sets out to deceive. If you find yourself in a relationship where you know your significant other is lying and manipulating you through gaslighting and manipulation, do not allow them to bully you or convince you of a false narrative that they want you to believe. Write things down in a notebook. Take pictures so you have visible proof to know that you are not thinking too much and you're not mistaken. Keeping track of the details may not necessarily give you the freedom that you need in the way of showing them to get the narcissist to calm down. This suggestion is to only to prove to yourself that you are not losing your mind. When a narcissist is caught lying, they won't believe your truth. All you can do is say, your reality is your reality. I can live with that. However, your reality is not my reality, and I am entitled to see things as how my reality perceives things to be for me. If that's a little bit too long to remember, you can also say, well, I agree to disagree with you. However, that does not make me believe you. I am entitled to see the situation from my system of beliefs and from my moral and ethical boundaries that are different from yours, and that's okay. You can also say, I can live with the fact that you do not see things as how I see them. I know the truth for me, and the truth for me is that this, and make your explanation or insert what they did wrong. It is real and authentic to me, and I don't need you to agree with me for my truth to be valid. You are welcome to change these sentences and make them longer or shorter and make them fit for your narrative according to the way that you speak. But I'm asking you to then take the steps, my dear, to reel in your emotions and take a step back in the relationship to further distance your heart and mind from the narcissist, so that when you are ready to financially leave and you're mindfully and willingly ready to leave, you are ready to leave for good and not look back. A person who proves that they are untrustworthy is a person whom we need to stay away from. If you love a person who is a narcissist, it's time to start asking yourself and really define for you what love looks like. Love does no harm to its neighbor. Although you may love the narcissist, their lying shows you that they do not love you. They do not trust, nor do they respect you enough to be honest, because they don't trust or respect themselves. If they cannot be honest with you, they cannot be honest with themselves. So it's not about you. And this is nothing against you. The narcissist does not love you because they are unlovable, because they don't love themselves. That's the bottom line. The narcissist projects onto you what they see inside of themselves. The lack of love and effort they give to the relationship is an ineptness that stems within them. Again, it has nothing to do with you. I know you will tell yourself that there must be something wrong with you. I told myself that too. I took the narcissistic gaslighting, projection, deflection, devaluation, and stonewalling as slights against me. And I assumed that this was because there was something wrong with me, that I was flawed and the narcissist hated me. Well, they don't hate you. They envy you. Your goodness causes them offense. That's why they come back, because they know you're a good person. Should that mean that you should demean and demoralize yourself because they do this to you? No. For me, it took me a long time, years and years, to really understand the value of myself I hold within. It wasn't until I began to understand the narcissist from my perspective of childhood trauma could I then really understand how the narcissist is negating because they have been negated. It's instinctual. They have no filter that allows them to feel empathy towards harming or doing harm to someone. They cannot feel what you or I feel. They cannot love, and because they cannot love, they want you to stop loving yourself. When you are victimized by a narcissist, they are trying to devalue the love you have within. They want to rob you of it by destroying it in you so that you cannot see it. It is only when you begin to see the abuse for what it is, can you then look within to discover the love you have always had within you. It is just buried beneath the hurt and pain, but it is still there. It's always been there because love cannot be destroyed. Love is a part of your spirit as it is a part of your soul. When you discover that love inside of you and you allow it to sing by allowing it to soar, you will begin to repel the narcissist that came to do harm in your life. You will be so full of self-love that your cup will overflow, and you'll begin to attract those people who are willing to receive the love you have within you to give to them. A narcissist cannot receive the love within you because they can't see love for what it is. Love is accepting. Love allows you to be you and allows the other person to be who they need to be. Love looks at the flaws and sees potential to learn and grow. Love is teaching. Love is guiding. Love is compassionate and merciful. Love looks at the human design and sees error as a means for room for correction and patience and kindness and self-control. You owe it to yourself to find that within you. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8. You owe it to yourself to find within you the love that is limitless in its possibilities. You owe it to yourself because you were given this life to live. The statistics of you being born are astounding. Because you are here, God has created you for a purpose. He wanted you here. You owe it to yourself to love yourself for Him because He loves you. You owe it to yourself to love yourself, to discover the life He set out for you to live. You were fearfully and wonderfully made, and today I am hopeful you learned a little something extra into the perspective of the heart of a narcissist in this video. A narcissist is a different kind of individual. They are hurting and they project that hurt onto you because they know no other way. It does not make what they do right. They are responsible for what they do, but it's not your responsibility to hold them accountable to that. They can't. They are loveless creatures who will remain alone. And it is not your responsibility to bear the consequence to their lying ways, as you have a responsibility to hold yourself accountable to a truth that you have always known. You are meant to love and be loved because you were created in love. There is honesty and authenticity in love. There is a rigidness in love. There is integrity in love. There is constancy and consistency in love. Love is what it is. Love covers all wrongs, and where you find love, you will find the truth. Truth prevails as truth always sets you free. The narcissist is bound in chains and cannot get free from the web of lies they weave because they were not created in love. They have not any love to give. They are loveless, as where there is a lack of love, there is only falsehood. So thank you for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Share this video and take a look around my channel, as there's other videos that you might see and find value in. And if you have comments and questions or suggestions, I'm always an email away. My name is Shannon Gilmour, and I am a peer support mentor, women's life coach, and Christian author, helping you to see life from the perspective of love through divine design and quantum science that reveals the divinity of your existence. Mwah.